Give us your hot take right now in the B2B content world.
99% of the content in B2B sucks.
Ooh.
What specifically sucks about it?
It's not positioned to put the viewer as the hero. It puts the company as the hero, and people tune out in like 0.5 seconds.
In the ways that we engage with customers, there is a huge strategic component. It's B2B marketing, right? It's different than we're making YouTube videos. Everything has to tie back to certain revenue goals. How do you look at that piece?
The main question, like the North Star that we kind of go by, is what is everything that someone would need to believe before working with you? Once they have the answer to that, we just build content around that. So we call it the content spine, so that when they get to the bottom of the funnel, they come into the call prepared, and we're happy to move forward in half the time because we already have all the information that we need.
What are your top 3 tips to make a better video?
I would say planning, hook, agenda. You got to let people know where you're going. And I would say the third piece of that is curiosity gaps. Every time you make a point, you have to give someone a reason to stay for the next point because it's related to the last point. On that same point, number 2 would be like,
What's up? Welcome to the Vent Shark Podcast. We are at Exit 5's Drive right now, year 2, Vermont. I'm here with my co-host, Ding Zhang. This is Jay Claire. We got Ademola in the house. He has his own video production agency up in Canada. What's poppin'? Coming down from Toronto.
what's going on? Took a lot to be here today. Crossing the border is difficult.
It's gotten harder, huh?
It has.
I'm trying to relate this to video somehow, but couldn't weave it in. You put a lot of great content on, video best practices. Just started a YouTube channel. I don't know if you just started it, but I just subbed to it. Yeah. Some good video, like best practices for B2B content. Not a lot of like people putting out B2B best practices. We tip our hat, respect. So
Thank you.
I want to talk a little bit about video content creation, what you're seeing in the field, what's working, what's not working. So give us your hot take right now in the B2B content world.
99% of the content in B2B sucks.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What specifically sucks about it?
It's not positioned to put the viewer as the hero. It puts the company as the hero, and people tune out in like 0.5 seconds because of that.
It's like a pitch slap in video form.
It is.
Look how great we are.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's awful. It's awful. And we keep doing it.
How great we are.
Yeah.
I like how you did that.
This is why we're the best company in B2B. We're AI first. Like, fuck you. Come on. Can I swear?
Yes.
Okay.
Encourage.
Yeah.
For me, it's just kind of a tragedy that we continue to do this, but there aren't a lot of great role models out there when it comes to B2B video. And the ones that are there, everyone just tries to copy. And I feel like there's not a lot of originality either when it comes to B2B content.
What's your favorite piece of B2B content you saw recently?
Ooh.
Because you say 99% sucks. What 1% have you seen recently that was really good? And why did they do it? Because anyone listening to this right now maybe wants to have their content perform better. We're trying to make our content perform better. Everyone's trying to make their content better.
Yeah.
So it's a never-ending ladder.
I might be biased because they're one of our clients, but Close puts out really good content. I find that they're constantly thinking about ways to make people relate to their features as opposed to just telling them about them. So there's a secret project coming up. I don't know if this will be out by the time the podcast makes it out, but instead of saying we have these features, they actually gave their features personalities. And I think this is a really cool approach because now people can relate to them as people. So as an example, they have one where like dark mode is a person and they're like calm, cool, and collected. I don't know where they're going to go with this moving forward, but I found all of their content thinks about how can we make sure that we are relating to people's pains and like what they actually think about versus just saying, hey, we have this feature and that feature. So Close is the first one that comes to mind, but if another one pops up in my head as we're talking, I'll bring them up as an example.
Yeah, because a lot of it can just feel like, here it is, spam. Just canned up spam right in your feed. Because you're helping a lot with the strategy as well. Sounds like Close is like trying to put the viewer first. And this is like seems obvious.
Yeah.
But still people continually, even myself, I feel like maybe people do this occasionally. Like then I'm like, why did I not put the audience first? Put the audience first.
Exactly.
It's so simple, but you forget.
100%. I feel like ClickUp does a really good job as well.
ClickUp.
Yeah, they're really good in terms of their like social content, their fun content. I like that stuff so far. Yeah.
We talk about ClickUp.
Yeah.
We've hit it over the head too much at this point. Talking
Oh,
about
really?
ClickUp.
I was wondering what that look was. I was
No,
like,
we
do
were
I need to
just
stop
joking.
talking?
Yeah.
No, we're just joking because we just talk
Yeah,
about
we love ClickUp. Shout
Yeah.
out to Chris.
this podcast. Not sponsored by
ClickUp. No,
ClickUp.
this
Sponsored
podcast-
by
Exit
5,
Five.
the #1 B2B marketing community out there. So if you are stuck running your ideas or problems to your family and you need someone to talk to, Exit 5 is the B2B marketing community for you.
Yeah,
this is me trying to do the ad read, but Dingo's doing better.
Come for the marketing, stay for the ice cream social. Exit 5, the premier destination for B2B marketers around the world. Level up your skills, find community, make new friends. Exit5.com, log on.
That was incredible.
Back to the show.
So Adam, your business is structured in an interesting way. You know, you're famous for excellence on the post-production side, but you guys don't really do a lot of shooting, right?
No, we don't. I think for me, that was more of a personal decision because I was like, I very much like shooting for myself. So like family videos, travel videos, that sort of thing. And I was finding being behind the camera, even with the team, was very draining for me because I was like, I don't have any time or energy to shoot for myself anymore. So we cut that out of our business model a year ago. The funny thing is, we're talking about it now.
You're talking
I'm thinking about it, bringing it back.
He was telling me outside that he's like, I'm thinking about getting into production. I'm like, that's probably good. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I actually can relate because now I feel like my personal content, I just not prior anymore. Like my personal YouTube and stuff. I'm just like, we go to this, conference. We're shooting all day for the client. I'm thinking client first, and then at the end of the day, you're like, I don't really want to shoot my own content, even though we're shooting our own content right now. But
Exactly. Yeah.
but
yeah.
I can totally relate to that.
100%. But I think the way that we're moving about it now is like, we want to work with people like you guys, right? Instead of doing it ourselves, we leave it to experts like you and just have more partnerships. And I think that's just a better way of being a more well-rounded business because like a lot of B2B companies are not well set up to like shoot video themselves. And sometimes leaving them to their own devices is not the best call. So if we can bring in people that we trust to shoot for them, then we can still be on the post-production side and kill it there. Because that's what brings me life as well on the business side.
Just that layer of quality assurance, so that you can go forth and with the post-production extrapolate and create the best videos.
Yeah.
And I think it was really cool was that you guys aren't just like an editing house right now. Like you also was talking about like strategy as well, because the idea, and you even going at the beginning of the podcast, we're talking about the intention behind the videos. I think that's, editing is great, and but being able to have a idea and bring that to life, I liked how you kind of come in with a strategy as well.
Yeah, well, I think there's like a common misconception in the marketing space where if you're a video producer or a creative in that sense, you get typecast in some ways, right? But in a lot of ways, in the ways that we engage with customers, there is a huge strategic component. There is a how-to. There is a show what good looks like. And because everything has to, it's B2B marketing, right? It's different than we're making YouTube videos. Everything has to tie back to certain revenue goals, certain company objectives and whatnot. So how do you look at that piece?
Mainly the main question, like the North Star that we kind of go by is, what is everything that someone would need to believe before working with you? That's the question that we ask our clients. And then once they have the answer to that, we just build content around that. So we call it the content spine. And we're like, okay, if they need to believe these 5 things, then we need to have 5 series running that constantly answer these questions so that when they get to the bottom of the funnel, they come into the call prepared. It's less about, hey, what do you guys do? And it's more about, okay, I understand, here's the use case that I need, and we're happy to move forward in half the time because we already have all the information that we need. So I think it's more around, like you said, planning and figuring out all the pieces that would be needed to make sure that they have the information needed to move forward.
The part about figuring out which questions we're answering, that's a bar right there, right? Because I think a lot of, especially marketers that aren't as used to doing video content, everyone does a good job at answering what. Right, but there's less intention behind answering how, why, and when, right? And I think I'd argue that for a sales cycle, those questions are probably more important because you're not having that. You don't know what is. You're not in that conversation at all, right? So
I think in our gut, most of us know what to do. But what happens is things go to die in Google Docs, where the planning stage is just like you had the right idea the first time, and like your salespeople, for instance, know all the questions that they get asked, the objections that they face, all of that stuff. And that's gold for making great content. What happens is once you pass it over and get feedback from the rest of the team, people are like, oh, we need to put our branding on it, or we need to do this, we need to do that. And then you have a video that just does nothing.
Too many cooks in the kitchen was like a huge problem. I mean, me and Ding were just talking about this on another topic, but I think when you have too many voices, it can get cluttered and you're not actually doing what you want to do in the first place.
Absolutely. We've started telling our clients, you have a maximum of 3 people that can see this. I will not accept anyone.
Wow.
Like if we have a doc and it goes outside of that, we'll remove that person, and it's only the three of you that can see this. It just it's extreme, and I'm probably not going to enforce it moving forward. But we just kind of like have that line in the sand to say like, don't send this to too many people, otherwise it's going to take forever to ship, and it's going to be much worse.
I mean, that alone, I think, is a big value add for these companies, because it's a lack of experience, right? Like, let's do marketing by committee, because none of us really know what we're talking about when it comes to video, but we're the client, we're paying money, we need to have some input. But oftentimes it draws out timelines, messaging gets unclear.
Right.
It's a good segue for this next question. I'd love to hear an answer from both of y'all. But what is your biggest pet peeve or annoyance when dealing with clients?
Again, spicy.
Yeah, my brain just went into overdrive there. I would say the first one that came to mind is when you're done a project and they're like, actually, can we change the music? No. You want me to retime all the footage that we have to this? No, there's no way.
I think even picking music, that's tough. Like it's all about taste. Shout out to, the team over there. Having taste is something that AI, can't really replace. Like this banger song would go really well with this recap video, but how you gonna?
I would say the other thing is in the revision stage, it's really frustrating when clients are like, we need to do this instead. I'd prefer you say what the problem is and then leave it to us to find the solution. So we coach our clients on the revision side to say like, say what you're going for and then let us figure it out, versus like saying, oh, this is red when it should be blue, or that sort of thing, because then it starts to get really messy. You get a bunch of input from people who don't understand how creative videos work, right?
That's interesting. In some cases, for me, I actually prefer the opposite. So my whole thing is I like specific actionable feedback, right? I don't want to sit there and have to guess what the client wants. The more specific they are, because then here's a revision round. Boom. Everything you asked for. And then if they don't like it, that's on them. Right. But I like the approach that you have in terms of like, let the creative do the creative.
I mean, we have some clients too that are like, actually appreciate their feedback. Now we've kind of working relationship we've done for 5 huge projects with them, and when we send them a video, I'm just shouting out Jillian over at User Evidence. She always provides us really good like feedback that's not like super nitpicky. It's like more overall like things that actually help the video, and like we're able to collaborate with good clients that have seen what good looks like is really helpful. And then there's sometimes you're working with people maybe don't understand the creative as well, and then it just makes the video worse.
Yeah, it sometimes feels like again, when there's too many cooks in the kitchen, if you send a link out to 10 people, each person is going to feel like they have to contribute something, and sometimes their feedback is not helpful at all. There's probably some differences in the way that we see feedback and how we like to receive it. But for me specifically, I'm like, just tell us why or what you don't like, and then we'll figure out how to fix it with you.
I like that.
Yeah. It's, I think doing video for clients or doing any type of creative work for clients, right? It's an interesting balance of like, our goal is always to make the best video possible. But then when you have a paying customer, I think there's that thing of also the customer service element, right? It's like, you want to make them feel happy. Sometimes we'll make edits where like we think the video is in a good spot, right? But we're still happy to, because I think there's certain clients, like they want the feeling that, they're working with a team, they're getting what they pay for, right? So there's that element of when they give feedback and then there's a change to the video. Like sometimes, you do it for the customer, but that's also a fine line, right? Because we're not just executors, we're consultants, and we want to guide and educate in the best way.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Go for it.
You guys have been doing this for a while. How quickly do you know now when a client is not a good fit for you? Is it after you've taken a deal? Is it during the sales process? Like, I'm curious when you're like, I don't know if this is a fit.
We usually like the crawl, walk, run, I think, with our clients. So usually it starts off smaller projects, kind of get a feel for the working relationship, narrow down our ICP a little bit on like types of projects and clients that we are good at. Then content for SaaS companies, right in our wheelhouse. Going to make an ad for a CPG brand. No, we're not the right fit for that. So I think also narrowing down like the right companies they're working with and our offer. I think something that me and Ding have really narrowed down in the last 2 years. At first we were taking on any project, anyone. Now we've really narrowed down on like our offer and focused on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think just knowing when we know what good looks like in a specific realm or discipline, typically smooth sailing. There's also an element of buyer savviness, right, that we look for. You know, a lot of our best clients, like to the point about feedback earlier, when the buyer has been there before, you know, they have some kind of context or experience with what quality B2B video is. It's a smoother experience. When they don't really know what good looks like, the wind can blow in a lot of different directions.
I will chime in. Some clients trust us completely and then don't have revisions, and then they trust that we know what good looks like.
Yeah.
And those are the best clients too.
Right. Right. One just follow-up question. Do you filter for personality as well? Like, have you ever had calls where you're like, I don't know if we would work well with this person or this team?
So it's sometimes hard to tell an initial sales call, but you can get a gut feeling. I have a rule book of over 1,000 rules.
Oh, yeah?
Personal rules, life lessons. Number one is trust your gut. So if you get like a gut feeling, like I don't know about this deal, and usually when that's happened, usually that person ends up being shitty quiet.
I hear you. I hear you. The reason I ask is because, like, I don't know what your plans are long term. For me, this is very much a lifestyle business. I've had the thought of like not growing past 10 people. Like we're at 8 right now. I'm very much filtering for personality as well because we're on like a retainer sort of model. So I like to ask other business owners that same question because I'm like, am I over indexing on this and just like focusing too much on, you know, are we going to be friends or like, you know, that sort of thing? Does it matter? Does it not matter? That sort of thing. And, you know, just wanted your input as well. So that's why I asked those questions.
You selling retainers might be slightly different because you're more like getting into marriages quicker than us.
Yeah, true.
Where we do a little bit of speed dating.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And it's a two-way street too, right? I think with especially like a pilot to a larger engagement model, it's not just how we perceive the client, how the client perceives us as well, right? You know, sometimes there's a mutual decision like, okay, we're not going to partner up again.
Give us a editing best practice. Give us a hot editing tip right now.
The one that comes to mind is just a tool I rediscovered. When you're cutting down long footage, there's this tool called Recut, and there's probably a bunch of tools like it. One thing that I tell clients quite a bit is if you're making long form content, don't cut the camera, just keep talking. Recut just takes out all the silences and the weird stuff. So it saves you a ton of time editing.
Yeah, I think the guy's been talking about that. I'm not in the nitty gritty of the editing, but I've seen Recut and tossed around in a good amount of the Slack.
It's cool. It's cool. I like it. I'd say the other thing is Adobe Enhance. There's so many people that use it at 100%. Please don't use it at 100%.
Beep boop bop, beep boop.
Exactly. That's exactly what you sound like when you use it. So don't do that.
Yeah, and compression and EQ.
That's a Adobe Podcast Enhancer for anyone that doesn't know. It's a podcast enhancer tool. Can churn. It's actually an amazing tool for anyone that doesn't know what this tool is. Great tool. You can churn a typical cell phone video and it sounds like a studio. But if you do it too much, it sounds like a robot. What are your top 3 tips to make a better video?
I would say planning. So hook, agenda. So hook is like, obviously everyone knows what a hook is. Agenda, you got to let people know where you're going. And I would say the third piece of that is curiosity gaps. So every time you make a point, you have to give someone a reason to stay for the next point because it's related to the last point. I feel like people don't do that enough. So, you know, if you have a video that's 3 steps to, you know, making B2B videos or better B2B videos, if you say the first thing and people are like, that's useful, and they leave, then your watch time goes down. But if you're like, hey, number 1 was really good, but it's nothing without number 2, then that's a really good way to do things, right?
That's a classic thing I see in YouTube videos.
Yeah, they do it so well. On that same point, number 2 would be like, when you're ending a video, give people on YouTube especially, like just say, hey, all of this information was great, but in order to tie it all together, you're going to need to watch this video or go to this resource or talk to our team to learn this part. So a CTA that shows that they need to get more information is something that I love to tell clients as well because it gives people a reason to binge your content. Number 3, to make better content, I would say we're moving into an era of not over editing. So we used to love super flashy edits when it comes to short form or long form videos. Like everyone references Mr. Beast, you know, and editing every 3 seconds. But I think we're moving back to less hyper edits. And I think it's important to show, don't tell, and like have graphics on screen that really make it easy for people to conceptualize what you're talking about, but not overdo it because people tend to get tired of that. And I think the pendulum is swinging the other way. So was that 3? I think so. But those are my 3
I'll be curious how we edit that short.
That one's going to be the fastest video.
Ding, did you have 3? You want to rattle off real quick?
Yeah, I got 3. One thing I'd slept on is audio. Sound is the most important piece of video. It sounds counterintuitive, but if you've ever watched a video with horrible sound, windy noises, background noises, you'll know what I'm talking about. The second piece is, I mean, you kind of touched on this, but I think planning and prep work is really important. This is specifically pertaining to capturing content at events, is just scheduling time, having a good run of show, knowing where to be, what to film, who we're filming, and especially if you have external people as guests, calendar holds, time blocks, hold people accountable during shoots, right? That's why any major Hollywood production, there's a dedicated person, dedicated team that's doing that. And then the third piece, I think, is being very intentional and working backwards. Start with thinking about how the video is distributed, right? Before going in and making the video. An example of that is a video designed for short form content feeds is going to be produced very differently than a video, like a testimonial that lives on a company website. Right video, right place. The context is everything.
What do you have to say about that?
I thought it was brilliant.
Beautiful.
Adam, where can the viewers find you?
a2media.ca or LinkedIn. My name's Ademola Adelakun. It's spelled how it sounds. Good luck figuring that out. That's where you can find me, LinkedIn or our website.
All right. And we got to go Pokemon style. You got to pick a hat.
Pick a hat? No way.
And we got other colors over there.
I have that one.
You're the white one.
Thank you, Ding. I'm
Yeah.
going to go with this one.
You want that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have a pink one over there as well.
A pink? Oh, I want the pink one.
Yeah. Done.
Toss the pink one over here. Get him on there. Throw it on.
Ooh,
Smile. Wave to the camera.
looking good.
There we go.
Thumbnail.
I hope it works with my dreads.
Oh yeah, we've come across this before.
Thumbnail.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh.
There we go.
What do you
Awesome.
think?
Thank you
Hey,
so much,
one question. Open mouth on the thumbnail? Or no open mouth.
Oh, no open mouth.
No open mouth.
No open mouth. Yeah. I think it's overdone now. People are just like, what's in there is probably not surprising.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for
Exit
listening.
5.
Exit 5, let's
Exit
go.
5. A2 Media. Event
Thanks so
chart.
much, Adam.
Nah, no worries.
Oh, man.
No
Peace
worries.
out.
Yo.
There
Good
we
shit,
go.
man. Yo.
Long reach. Boom.
Yeah.
Out.
I was